What's up? My name is Montre Bible. Yes, that's my real last name. And I am trying to keep you guys up to date on spirituality, on what's happening in the world, and trying to help you use your spirituality in a practical way. Now, what is going on in the world? Well, it looks like the United States is going through a major transformation right now. And it's what we call Pluto return. I made a video about it, about the Pluto return for the United States, Pluto going into Aquarius, how it can cause a lot of upheavals in society, and just to get you ready for it. Okay. And I think when we're not ready for it, we get so surprised. We get caught off guard and we start acting out of fear. And I want to let you guys know, like, hey, if you can prepare for the storm, you'll be all right. Now, with Pluto and Aquarius, we leased with the United States with the Pluto return. A lot of my predictions were that the United States was going to have a financial collapse. And you're like, duh. I mean, we see it all the time already. But I said this like last year. And I said it was going to happen around 2023, 2024, around the election time, because we always need a nice little bit of chaos right before the elections. I truly believe that we will see something happen in Q2 when we move into quarter two, which on business terms is the second quarter of the year. Usually this is when we usually see, like in the past couple of years when we had the pandemic and stuff, we saw a lot of things happen around at the end of March, April, and May. Okay, so that's the time that they wanted to, have people move a certain way emotionally. And so when we get close to Easter, there's usually some type of big emotional disturbance that happens. We're already starting to see it with shootings. We're going to start seeing some more stuff, especially when we get into the summertime. We see things that make us emotionally disturbed. So here's something to emotionally disturb you. But like I said, it's not to do it out of fear. I want you to prepare yourself. Anyways, I go on tangents, guys. I'm sorry. I found this. It's called China, Brazil struck deal to ditch the dollar. Okay. This is from the Straits Time. Let's see here. I'm just going to read this article here. China and Brazil have reached a deal to trade in their own currencies, ditching the US dollar as an intermediary. The Brazilian government said on Wednesday, Beijing's latest salvo against the almighty greenback. The deal will enable China, the top rival to US economic hegemony, and Brazil, the biggest economy in Latin America, to conduct their massive trade and financial transactions directly, exchanging yen for reais. I guess that's how their money, what they call their money, and vice versa, instead of going through the dollar. The expectation is that this will reduce costs, promote even greater bilateral trade, and facilitate investment. The Brazilian Trade and Investment Promotion Agency said in a statement, China is Brazil's biggest trading partner, with a record of $150.5 billion in bilateral trade last year. The deal, which follows a preliminary agreement in January, was announced after a high-level China-Brazil business forum in Beijing. So, in a nutshell, my dog, in a nutshell, basically, Brazil is on board with moving their currency over to China and starting their own little separate trade, leaving the United States out. A few countries have already decided this. We have Iran, countries in Africa. China is making deals with countries in Africa to use their money instead. Hey, get inside. He does this to me all the time. He always starts barking when I'm doing videos. Sleep all day. But as we can see, there's similar deals with Russia, Pakistan, and several other countries. So China, Russia, Pakistan, which is a lot of the oil, they're all deciding to do deals with themselves. These are all, and while the United States is stuck with England and some of the European countries. Now, what is going on is that, while we're dumping money into Ukraine and stuff, our economy is going lower and lower. We're having an inflation right now, and they're trying to talk about it's not a big deal. But if you look around, we have companies laying off people left and right, especially entertainment companies. And it usually starts there. Okay. The entertainment companies, the big name companies are all doing massive layoffs, and there's more to follow. Also, we had that big SVB, right? That bank that was failing, and they're looking for a bailout. So what happens here is, like I said, I'm not a financial expert, but I'm just trying to kind of give you, from layman's terms, what I've grown to understand. If you know more than me, that's fine. Just put it in the comments. But if the banks fail, of course, they can't pay people, right? They can't give us our money. So they create this digital currency. That's a part of it. They want to put a government digital currency out there. And I'm telling you guys, you don't want to be on a government digital currency because you're giving the government complete control of your finances. Once that happens, game over. Okay. I would suggest, Bitcoin. At least putting your money in Bitcoin, or at least some of your money in Bitcoin, because there may be a time when all the banks are going to fail, and they're going to try to force everyone into a few smaller, or a few large banks, not smaller ones. They're going to try to eradicate all these small banks everywhere, all these little credit unions, and get everybody into these bigger banks like Bank of America or something like that. But they're all going to be on the same system, the same system of digital currency run by the government. Just a prediction, but it's pretty, it's not a conspiracy. It's just a prediction. Okay. So, but I'm saying that it's just probably not good for you. And I don't see a lot of my peers talking about it. Sometimes we're distracted by just some of the minor things happening around in the world, or we're dividing ourselves up because of controversial things. So when we see something and everybody's talking about it, but they're not talking about this, they're not talking about money, then that's what makes me think, okay, everybody's being distracted right now. Let's talk about this real quick. So I think that's the ultimate in-game plan, is to get everybody scared. When your bank is saying, oh, wait, we can't offer you money right now, or we can't do payments right now on your bills, then what are you going to do? You're going to be stuck. You're going to be like, well, how do I pay my rent? How do I pay my car note? One, and that's another thing, they don't want you to have a car. If they can at least knock out a lot of people for a week or two, they're gonna knock out a lot of car payments. A lot of people might get repoed. They don't want you to have a car. They want you to have an electric car. They don't want you to have a place. They want you to rent one of their government homes. And that's what I was talking about. Everything's kind of connected, because the World Economic Forum wants everybody to have these, what you call, smart cities. And what I kind of foresee, and I'm already seeing it happen in different little places, a full furnished home. Why wouldn't somebody want that? Full furnished apartments with dishes and everything, but it's owned by the government. So you could pay one flat fee and you can live in this place, but you don't own anything in it. And if you take anything, they're going to charge you. Why? Because they got you on that digital currency. Okay. So they could just take a little bit out. And what was that Elon Musk talking about? Creating a town for his workers. They're already trying to do it. So that's the goal, is that they want to create these little towns where you work and they pay you from the federal digital currency bank. And if you get out of line, they deduct some money out of there. And then they'll give you a place to stay, and they'll just deduct some of that money out. So eventually you just kind of work your way into slavery, basically, because they were like, well, how's it slavery? Because you're living on government property. You're being paid through a government system. If they want to pay you, they can. If they don't have to, all they're providing you is a home and some food. Home and food. You think that slave masters didn't provide enough for their slaves to at least eat and have something to wear? They gave you the basics. Having the basics doesn't mean you're not a slave. So people, I just want you to wake up on that. Anyway, so they're creating these smart cities. They're creating the digital government money, and they want to control where you travel to. So they really don't want you to have a car. They want you to live in cities where you can like walk around. But if you need to leave when you want to, you won't be able to. And if you do have a car, it's going to be one of those electric cars that they can turn off and on. So I'm just showing the different systems that they're trying to put in place one by one and act like it's not related. And then slowly but surely, while you're watching Real Housewives of whatever, they're putting the system together, and then they're going to scare you and make you scared because, oh, there's no more money. Everybody's going to freak out. Okay, well, join this or sign up for this, and we'll make sure that your money is insured or whatever. And so that's how they're going to do it. They're going to scare everybody some way. I'm saying when they pop off, because the whole pandemic stuff, nobody's scared of that anymore. So they had to move on to the next fear. And it's going to be about your money and where your money's going. And when they do that, be ready for it. So I'm saying just have a little bit of money in Bitcoin or some cryptocurrency somewhere else that's not controlled by them. And get a passport. I'm trying to get my passport still, and I'm having the hardest time. I can't even find a place to get an appointment, which is really weird. Like everything's booked. So y'all send me some good energy so I can make sure I can get this passport, because I think you're going to need a lot of freedom to travel in the next few years, the next couple of years. You're going to need to be mobile. Okay. And there's going to be a lot of people who are scared. They're not ready for what's coming. And I want you to be ready. Okay. Because everything I'm looking at, even when I check cards and I check astrology, I'm like, ooh, something ain't right. But also, like I said, there has to be a major emergency around the election time. They have to use something to get people to vote from an emotional standpoint, especially if you're voting Democrat, because a lot of people are not happy with the Democrats right now. They're not happy with Biden and what he's been doing and how he's just been giving away money to Ukraine. So they got to get people back in the good graces. Okay, so they're going to do something, whether it's going to be offering free money. I kind of sense there might be another stimulus or something, because I feel like there's going to be a major layoff. Probably, let's see, Pluto's going to be Aquarius. Let me see. Pluto goes in Aquarius and then retrogrades back out. So that means there's going to be something that starts and stops. So we're like, let me check. 1 second. April 21st is the Mercury retrograde. Pluto retrograde is May to October 11th. Pluto retrograde in Aquarius on May 1st. So we're going to see April, May. So March, April, and then some of May. But it's still going to be in Aquarius. Then it'll slide back into Capricorn. So we're having like 3 months of it being in Aquarius. I'll go back and check the rest of that. Like I said, I'm just checking dates real quick. But I'm feeling like it's around April, May that we're going to have some kind of super fear pop up. And then people are going to freak out, if not in a couple of weeks. Because usually it's like that. I don't know why. Remember when everybody freaked out about that toilet paper thing? Happened around March, April. And I just sat back like, why is everybody running outside buying up all the toilet paper? I didn't get into all that drama, but that's just an example of everyone running like lemmings over a cliff. And this financial thing is going to be a big part of it. Okay. So I just want to kind of give you guys a heads up on society right now. So it's going to be a money issue, trying to get people scared about their security. There might be another stimulus. I won't say this year, but I sense maybe like around 2024. Only so because of a political ploy. Let me check. I got cards. I don't know why I'm not checking. There'll be another, and we don't need a real. Let me tell you this. Y'all be like, "Yay, free money!" The first stimulus wasn't free money. The first stimulus wasn't free money, y'all. And we're still paying for that. So anytime they pump out that little money machine, here you go. Here's some money. It's a joke. It's a joke. There's no such thing as free money. It's coming from somewhere, and it's going to have to be paid back. We got the Queen of Staffs, the Seven of Staffs, and the Moon card. There's an easy maybe about a stimulus coming. The Queen of Staffs and the Seven of Staffs. It could be a way of defending the economy. I don't know if y'all can see that. Whoop. Defending to help stay on top of the game. Queen of Staffs energy, very attractive energy. Could be female leader, could be Pelosi suggesting this. Queen of Staffs. Moon card says there's something that's going to be revealed to us, something that's hidden. So I don't think it's been decided yet. I think there's going to be some conflict and some resistance to doing another stimulus. But there's our chances. I think we're too far away yet for that decision to be made, because I feel like it's going to happen around 2024, around election time. Okay. So anyways, financial instability is the soup of the day, the soup du jour. So just expect it. Put a little money away, as your grandma and grandpa used to say, put something under your mattress, however you want to do it. If you live in a very high populated city on the East Coast or on the West Coast, make sure that you have an exit plan. What else? Yeah. And don't fall for the hoop-de-hoop. Don't fall for the hoop-de-hoop. Don't be Betty Foo-Foo when it comes to fear and whatever they're going to scare you at. But I know a lot of y'all are not talking about this, about these countries all joining together and joining with China and Russia to create their own financial system. And that's a big deal. A lot of people right now talking about TikTok and, government's going to take control of the internet. And that may be so. I think that's a part of it as well. They do want to take more control over the internet and what type of information we're getting. People are getting blocked or censored 24/7 or shadowed banned for whatever they're saying. That's a part of it as well. They're trying to make it harder for people to communicate. I don't like TikTok myself. I think, the government has control of social media. United States has control over social media. I wouldn't trust TikTok if the government was all into TikTok. If they were like, yeah, TikTok is great, which they were a minute ago. And then Trump said something about it and they were like, ew, it's fine. Now that Biden's the president, they're like, wait a minute, maybe we should kind of put some limits to it. But if this is a power grab of them trying to control more of the internet, then it really doesn't help us either. So anytime the government wants to say, well, let me solve your problems for you, I'm like, whoa, pump the brakes. I don't like TikTok, but guess what? I don't have to put it on my phone. That's my human right, So if I feel like I don't want China having all that information on me, China's the next big power, and they want to have as much data as they want on people. And they may be the next superpower. They may be taking over the world, China and Russia. The way it's looking now, very high on the on the to-do list is to find ways of bringing America down bit by bit, so we may be seeing the end of an empire here in the United States. Will it affect us really strong? I mean, that's up to you and how you navigate your life. But in all, I mean, make sure you have a lot of information and don't do anything out of fear, and do things because you know what? This is the way the universe is guiding you. I feel like as long as we stay connected to our spirit, to the great spirit, then we'll be fine. So I just really, truly believe that these governments want to, no matter whether it's the United States or if it's China or Russia, they want to keep a good, strong grip on how people think and what people do. But our divine right is to take care of ourselves. We can use government, but government should be using us, so that's neither here or there. I'm about to head on out of here. Go ahead and leave me a comment below on what you think about what's going on. What is your plans? Do you have a plan on what you want to do? And if you have any more information on what's going on financially with the world, please leave me a comment below. Send me any resources you have. I'm still learning myself. Like I said, I don't claim to be the all-knowing one. I just telling you what comes to me, the things that fall on my plate, and I'm like, whoa, let me share this with you guys. And also just the things that I find important. You know, spirituality is all good and gravy, but we need to make it practical and let spirit guide us to freedom, basically. All right, so remember that and make your reality happen, because if you don't do it, then who will? I'll talk to you guys later.